Multinational corporation is an organization that owns or controls the production of goods and services in one or more countries, such as McDonald's and many other fast food companies. Multinational companies have monopolized their competition because of mass production. They also have a greater advantage over privately owned businesses from their backing of investors. Multinational corporations also have increased the gap between rich and poor. Mass production is the process of producing large amounts of material at low cost, which allows large profits. Multinational companies use much more advanced machinery and methods of producing materials, making them much more efficient and allowing them to gain a greater profit. Through mass production, 200 of the largest multinationals hold 28% of the global trade, but only 1% of global employment. Although this measure is helping large companies, it is severely affecting privately owned small businesses that don't have enough money to invest in machinery and technologies to achieve the economics of scale in mass production. Countries have started investing in local companies to boost the economy and to create more jobs. Although multinational companies are making large profits, none of this money is going to governments, meaning this is loss of money in many countries. Multinational companies are starting to manufacture in developing countries because investors have a very low risk, which enables these companies to grow rapidly. This very little competition means investors get more for their money in developing countries. It allows businesses to take advantage of cheaper materials and workers, making them able to constantly upgrade and expand from a stable source of money. In 2001, 14 million people in developing countries will die from infectious diseases because major companies raise the prices of many medical equipment and medicines. Multinational companies also use this money to outcompete local businesses for market share, removing massive amounts of profit from the normally kept with the local economy. The governments in developing countries are forced to use public money to invest in local businesses so they can compete with the cheaper products offered by the multinational companies in order to save jobs of many people on the ongoing community. When multinational companies receive investments, it is taking away money from the developing country's economy, causing the gap between the rich and poor to stretch even further. In 2006, the Coca-Cola Company stole over $210 billion from the world's developing countries, such as Afghanistan, Argentina, and Peru, causing a massive split between the developed countries and developing countries. The top 200 corporations combine sales at the beginning of the combined economics of all countries minus the top 10, causing the difference between the rich and the poor to expand dramatically. The problem with this is multinational companies are moving the profits they make in developed countries to their already developed origin country, and that means that developing countries are not getting any benefits. The richest fifth of the world have 80% of the world's economy, whereas the poorest fifth have 1%. This gap has doubled between 1960 to 2000. This is causing the gap between the rich and poor to widen. Money that would be usually circulated with the economies in the developing countries and available to support their privately owned local businesses is now going to developing countries. This is demonstrated in India, where the proceeds of food grown is 1%, whereas the United States, the proceeds of food grown is 7%. Multinational companies have been able to successfully grow in developing countries because of the lack of competition from many smaller businesses. Multinational companies have been taken over the market sector in developing countries, putting many privately owned companies out of business because they cannot compete with the prices of mass production, causing many people to lose their jobs and have to live on the street. Furthermore, the difference between developed and developing countries is rapidly increasing because most of the developing countries' money is being transferred to developed countries because of multinational companies. Mass production has changed the way multinational companies function and how they have a detrimental effect on small businesses in developing countries through investments.
Created using Powtoon.